What if I told you that I could get you in front of the top 200 in your category? That I could pitch you to maybe the top 200 influencers, the top 200 thought leaders, the top 200 podcast hosts. Would you say that sounded too good to be true? Well, what if I told you I could do it in the next 24 hours, guaranteed? Sound too good to be true? Well, it's not. It can happen, but do you want it to happen? Hi, this is Tom Schwab with Interview Valet. And last week I was talking with somebody that brought that question to me. She was approached by someone that said that they could pitch her to the top 200 podcasts and guaranteed that they would do it. And she said, can you make the same claim? And I'm like, well, I guarantee you, we will not pitch you because we introduce, we don't pitch. And I said, you don't want to be pitched or introduced to the top 200 people in your category. And let me explain. You see, just because it's your category, it doesn't mean it's your people. So let's do an example here, like business. Say, yeah, my people are in business. So let's look at the top 200 shows in business, right? What if you were pitched to all of them? And it's easy to do, right? You can scrape the emails there, but 64 of those podcasts don't even have guests. David C. Baker from the Two Bobs podcast puts this up every now and then, that he gets pitched to be on his podcast. They don't have guests. They've never had guests. And it just makes the person that's being represented there look like an idiot, or at least very, very unprofessional. And the problem is a lot of times these robo pitches get shared around. So, there's that old thing in medicine, the Hippocratic Oath, first do no harm. Yeah, it's easy to download this list and email everybody, but you might get one or two yeses, but how many are you going to get that it damages your relationship? The other thing too is you might get a yes that doesn't work for you, right? Because 12 of those 200 podcasts are outside the US. If your audience is inside the US, why would you want to waste your time on a show that doesn't focus on that? Or if your audience skews female, you know what? Only 10 of those 200 podcasts might be a good fit for you. You see, it's not just about having a list that you scrape off the internet. It's having the database and the understanding of what these shows really are. And that's really where a little bit of experience, a little bit of art all comes together. Let me give you another example here that I think could be even more humorous, right? So last week I was talking to somebody. They've got a great AI program for students, pretty much middle school, high school students, right? And they can really help help the children learn. It's amazing. So what if they focused on the top 200 shows in education? That'd be great, right? Well, be careful. See, there'd be shows in there like Better Leaders, Better Schools with Danny Bauer. That one would be perfect. There'd also be shows like School of Greatness with Lewis Howes. A great podcast, right? But that's not the audience, right? And then you go down a little bit further. There's also, the one for the Software Engineer Radio. Great podcast in the top 200, but it's not for them. Well, how about some other ones? Shameless Sex is in the top 200. Yeah, you'd look like an idiot if you were starting to pitch this that's for children in middle school or grade school or high school. If all of a sudden you started to introduce it to that podcast, man, if that got out, if that got shared, that could do a lot of harm there. You see, bigger is not better. Better is better. And just because you have a list doesn't mean it's your list. Before something sounds too good to be true, just ask yourself, does this help me get to my goals? Does this help build relationships? Is this a conversation that I need to have? You see, it's a little bit more work to do it the right way, but I can guarantee you, you'll get a better return on investment of your time and your money. You'll be out there talking to people you can actually help. And at the end of the day, you're one conversation away, but you need to make sure that you're having the conversation with the right people. That means your people.